What's up, guys? My name is Magic Leone and welcome to my Tiger Tactics show. So let me give you a quick intro on what this show is about and what you're going to learn from this and what the Tiger Tactics are. So let's start with Tiger Tactics. Tiger Tactics are tactics that I came up with many years ago. This is when I was a total failure in my life, and I had some realization that in order to achieve success, you need to be a certain kind of person. It doesn't matter what you want to achieve. It doesn't matter if you want to be successful in love. It doesn't matter if you want to be successful as a person, successful in business, successful friend, successful lover, whatever you want to be. You have to first become a person who can succeed. Because here's the thing, I can give you every tool on this planet. I can give you a fighter jet right now. It doesn't mean you can fly. Even if you're a pilot, it doesn't mean you can fly a fighter jet. You have to be a certain kind of person who feels I can be in the cockpit and I can fly this plane and I can get into a dogfight and I can win the war. So it's not the planes don't build pilots. Pilots build plane, right? So the very first thing is we have to build that fighter pilot in us that can win every war and get us whatever we want to achieve. So I came up with Tiger Tactics because I had a really tough childhood. I was a complete loser and a failure of a person. So I had a miserable childhood. I felt like I was not good enough. My parents didn't love me. I didn't have enough friends. I had to bribe friends just to even hang out with me. I finally fell in love, and she was from a wealthy family. So in India, I felt like I have to earn money. If I'm not financially successful, our parents are not gonna be okay with the marriage. So I dropped out of school, started my business. My first business failed. I started again. My second business failed. Started again. My third business failed. And this girl at some point lost interest in me. She thought like I was a loser, I was a failure, can't do anything in my life. So even she left me. So now I felt like my whole life was completely crushed, and my whole fear and my whole belief of like I'm a loser, I'm not good enough, people don't love me, became 100 times stronger. And I tried to kill myself twice. I'm not going to go to that story right now, but the point is I became this person who was worthless, who was not good for anything. I was completely beaten down. So a person who feels I'm not good enough, I'm not capable of anything, I've failed at everything, can't achieve anything in their life. And around that time, I got a lucky break and I ended up moving to the United States. And I think that's where my transformation began. Because once I got here, I really had to go through one question. I had to ask myself, is this how I'm going to live my life? Am I going to go through my whole life blaming others, blaming society, blaming God, blaming luck for my failures, and I'm going to do something about it? And the transformation happened because one day I was in America and I was like just, angry at God, and I was cursing around and I was like, God, why is it that everybody else can be so successful? They can be so happy. There are these celebrities and everybody's living a great life, but I am in misery. And at that time, my brain said, okay, who are these people that you think are really successful? And I don't know why, I was just in the right space. So I started researching them. And of course, I was researching all these celebrities who in my mind were so successful. And when I started researching them, holy shit, was I surprised. I was amazed to see how many celebrities had tried to commit suicide. I was afraid to see how many celebrities were going through divorce, how many of them got arrested. I mean, I even read about someone who got arrested for hiring like a cheap prostitute on the street. So when I looked at that, I was like, holy shit, everybody has problems. People I thought were really living an amazing life, even they are miserable. The difference between them and me is when something bad happens to them, the whole world finds out, the media is on them. If something bad happens to me, nobody knows about it except for me or maybe one or two people around me. And all of a sudden I realized my life is not that bad. It's just my perspective. And everybody has challenges in their life. And I think that was the first moment of awakening for me to say, wait, you're just blaming everyone. Everybody has their challenges. You're just being a weak personality. And when I say these things, I want to be careful. Like, I challenge myself. So I use these words to push me forward. I'm always one of those who's always calling myself like, you got to win things, you got to move forward. And if I'm disappointed in myself, I might even challenge myself by saying, don't be weak, don't be scared. And I'm not saying other people are that way. This is my programming. I push myself really hard. So if I call myself weak and you're in a similar situation, it doesn't mean you're weak. There might be different words that are more empowering for you. So I'm only speaking how things make sense to me. So I'm telling you, this is where I was. And I realized that the reason I was not becoming successful was because of my thinking, of my mindset. When things went wrong, instead of finding solutions, I was blaming situations, blaming people, blaming luck, God, everyone else. So I recognize that if I wanted to be successful, the very first thing I need to do is I need to become a different person. I need to become a much stronger version of myself. And that's where the Tiger Tactics came in. So what I did is the very first thing I did, I made a list of everything everything that I was scared of. And you'll be surprised how many things I was scared of. In my life, I had never stepped into stepped in water, in nature, like outside of my shower. I've never stepped into water outside. I was afraid of driving. I was really, like, when I would drive in India, I would never drive past 20 miles an hour. Like, I was that scared to drive. I was afraid of heights. I could never be, at the corner of any building, like from the top, I could never look down. So I said, you know what? A big part of transformation is I have to face all my fears. So what I did is I signed up for skydiving and I did a tandem jump. I was scared as hell. Everybody kept looking at me and said, why are you doing this? You look so scared. I said, doesn't matter. I need to do this. Then I took scuba diving to get over my fear of water. I took Formula car racing to get over my fear of driving. So everything that I thought that I was afraid of, everything that scared me, I took part in that. And this was my process of transforming myself, to going from a place where I felt I was not good enough, I was weak, I was scared, I can do this, to go to a place where I was like, I'm invincible. I can do anything. There is no fear that can stop me. And then once that transformation happened, and I went from feeling like a sheep to feeling like a tiger, everything for me changed. From there on, I was unstoppable. Anything I wanted, I went after it. Didn't matter how long it took, didn't matter how many challenges I faced, I always found a way to get what I wanted. And so my first thing was coming from India, the two biggest themes of my life in my early life was, I always felt I was not loved enough, I was not good enough, and I was also financially not good. So my very first thing was I had to prove myself that I am good enough. So I took part in so many things to prove to myself I was good enough. From fencing, I used to fence with U.S. Olympic teams in New York. I actually fenced with a German fencer who was an Olympic winner in 2000, I think 2000 or 2001, and I actually scored against him. We had a 5-touch bout, and I got 4 points out of him, and I just quit at that point. I said, that's it. I got 4 out of 5. Nobody else in this competition got that. And so I kept proving myself until I became this person who said, wow, I'm amazing, I can achieve everything. And then the second part was my love life, because I felt I was not loved, I was not good enough, nobody would love me. I worked on that and I fixed my dating life. Not only did I fix my dating life, I used my skill set, my transformation, my knowledge, my experience to help thousands of people all over the world. And then finally, I used that also to build a business, and I became the highest paid coach in the dating industry. When I was starting, everybody was like, Magic, you're Indian, you have thick accent, nobody's going to learn from you. At most, maybe you'll make $100,000 and that's it, but you're not going to go past that. And I took that as a challenge. I didn't say anything. I said, you know what? There's a challenge in front of me. I've never backed off from a challenge. This is the new me. In the past, I would be like, yeah, God, you made me Indian, you gave me this accent, screw you. Because of you, I'm in this situation. Now I'm like, no. This is a challenge, and I'm going to go and I'm going to face it head on. And guess what? I kept working. I became the highest paid coach. So then the people I was teaching from, a lot of them came to me and also started asking for business advice. And then I got into business, and then I started helping businesses, and I've helped people generate over $500 million in revenue. So then I became really big in finances as well, in business as well. So what I'm trying to tell you is all of this transformation happened because of Tiger Tactics. So what Tiger Tactics really is, it's a two-part training. The first part is you really have to become that tiger, that lion, that fighter, the person who feels I am good enough, I can achieve whatever I want. Because if you're filled with self-doubt, if you believe this is not even possible, if you aim for very little things, if your goals are really small, you're not going to go too far. And if you don't even believe you can make $1 million, me giving you lessons to make $1 million is not going to make a difference. And the thing is, if you can make $1 million, you should be thinking of $1 billion. So my point is, if the very first thing is you have to believe you're capable of achieving greatness. If you can't even see that, if you can't even say that to yourself, you're never going to achieve that. You're never going to find love. You're never going to experience the real love, because you will live in fear. You will keep thinking, I'm going to lose this person. They're going to leave me. Something's wrong is going to happen. You'll in your business, in your service, in your career, you'll always struggle. You'll be afraid to go after what you want, because you're more afraid of things going wrong, of you failing, than going after and achieving what you want to achieve. On the contrary, if you feel like I am great, I deserve this, I deserve the love of a great woman or a great man, I deserve to be very successful, I deserve to be in the top of my company, I deserve to be the king of the market, I deserve to be leading in this industry, then when you have that belief system, you will find ways, systems, team, people who can help you reach that level. But if you don't have that, you will always hide, you will always take step back. You'll always keep stepping back because of your fears. You'll always live in the shadows of your fear. You will never take charge. You'll never move forward boldly because you don't even believe that is possible. So the very first part of the tiger training really is like transforming you into this invincible tiger who can win any battle in their life, and then take that confidence and the desire, the drive, and build plans and systems and execute them to achieve your results. So if you have those two things, where one is where you believe, and then second, you have a plan that you can execute, improvise, and achieve your goals, you're invincible and you can achieve any goal in your life. So what I'm going to do in this channel is basically I'm going to share a lot of knowledge with you. I'm going to give you a lot of ideas, a lot of exercises, a lot of tactics that you can use to transform into a tiger who can achieve anything in their life. And I'm also going to bring in some experts who can share their ideas, their journeys, how they became that person. And then I will give you a lot of roadmap, blueprints, plans that you can use and execute to achieve your goal. So this channel is basically, the Tiger Tactic is going to be how to become that strongest, amazing person, have that strong, unshakable confidence belief system that I am good enough, I can achieve whatever I want, I can go against the storm and come out as a winner. And then how to plan and have a strategy to go after whatever your objectives are, whatever your goals are, because there's one side is we feel confidence, then we also need the practical side. We need that plan, the tools, the tactics, the team, the strategies to make things happen. And when you have the combination of these two, the unshakable, invincible confidence, the power, and a strategy that's proven, that works, you can achieve anything in your life and you'll be the most happiest and most powerful person ever. So that was the quick intro of my podcast. Thank you for being here and I look forward to our journey together.